Hey guys.
That's not how you talk.
Hello,
hey guys.
Good evening.
Hey guys, we're back. It's been a long time.
A few months.
Last time we made a video was when I was 5 months pregnant. Yeah, so we had our baby boy Zayden. He's actually 2 months old now, which is crazy. And I thought it would be cool to do a labor and delivery story, just to fill you guys in on what I went through. It was very, very, very traumatic.
I'm scarred. I can barely watch Grey's Anatomy now.
Well, first he was born July 31st at 6 pounds 6 ounces,
19 inches,
19 and a half inches, and he was born at 2:19 a.m. on July 31st. So let's go to July 30th, which was a Sunday, and we went to go look at some model homes, and they had built like a whole new block of homes. So we went and we looked at like 7 homes. So I was walking
5
that whole day.
homes, 2 townhomes.
Look at the camera.
Oh.
Gosh. So we were just walking all day basically, and I wanted to do that because I wanted the baby to get out. I was
35.
No, I was
37.
Yes, I was 37 weeks in like 6 days, so I was about to be 38 weeks. Oh no, I was 38 weeks. Sorry. That day I was 38 weeks. And I just wanted him out. I was ready. I couldn't walk right. I always had to pee. Like,
She was like...
Yeah, I was waddling hardcore. So I just wanted him out, so we walk all day, right? So we go to home, we go to sleep, and then I start having contractions, like super...
Late at night.
Yeah, super late at... Sorry, he's over there sleeping. So I was late at night, like I just kind of woke up with these contractions, and I didn't know what they were because I had had Braxton Hicks contractions the whole time, so I didn't know if these were real or not. I just knew that they hurt, and I just was kind of whining and moaning like that whole night because of the pain that I was in. I tell him and I'm like, something is different.
And then I looked under the sheet and I saw his head.
So I told him, and then he told his dad that he wasn't going to be able to go to work. Before we knew it, we were going to the hospital. Okay. Last night, I was having horrible, horrible contractions. And all night and into this morning, and like still even now. I hope it's the real deal. And it's just crazy. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
I think that it possibly could be a false alarm. But if he does come earlier than we anticipated and even planned for, then it is what it is.
We'll see. I'll keep you guys updated. Bye. So we go to the hospital. They put me into like the
Pre-delivery room.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know what that room is called. Pre-delivery room.
Pre-delivery room.
And this girl checks me, right? It was really painful. But she's like, oh, okay, so you're, what, 3 or 4?
4 centimeters dilated.
Yeah. She's like, so you're 4 centimeters dilated. And I was like, great. And she's like, but we can't admit you until you're 5.
No,
Until you're 5.
Or 6.
No, 5. They sent me to go walk around the hospital for like 2 hours, and then so I walked around the hospital, just like walking, having contractions. Not too bad though, like I literally could still breathe through them. I was like talking through them. I would just be like, I'm having a contraction, but it's a nice day outside. Like I was like fine. So then we go back after the 2 hours, and then we go get checked again. She's like, okay, great, you're now 6 centimeters. And so I'm like, holy cow, like this is going real fast. So right now they just checked me again, and I'm 6 centimeters. Woo-hoo! So they're gonna admit me, and we're just gonna take it from there.
Are you ready?
I don't know. I mean, I got to 6 centimeters without
nothing.
nothing, and like they aren't too bad.
She did so good.
And then I was also feeling so great. I was like, wow, I can totally do this naturally because this is a breeze and I only have 4 centimeters to go. So we're all in that mindset that I'm 6 centimeters. You know, all the nurses are coming like, they're like, wow, you're doing really good, because 6 centimeters is not fun for like the majority of mothers out there. So I was like, I don't know. Something felt like it was a little bit off.
Something did not feel right.
Yeah. So we get checked into the labor and delivery room, and my whole family is in there. It's like literally full.
Yeah.
So.
It's a packed house.
Yeah. And so we're just waiting at this point, and I'm getting my blood pressure checked every so often, and then what happened after that? Oh yeah, I got some food. And then we had time to just chill, just us two, because my mom asked everyone to leave.
Get out. Okay, guys, we're just here at the hospital still. Eris has finished eating her meal, and we're working a little bit on a special song. Zayden should be coming very soon.
Yeah, they say I'm definitely gonna have him today, which is crazy.
Yeah. You're 6 centimeters.
It could be 7 now.
Yeah, she could be more, but the last time they checked, she was 6 centimeters dilated. And
I'm about to get checked. They said after they take this out, they're gonna check me.
yeah, so they're just running a couple of fluids. But yeah.
So everyone left. We were able to kind of just like soak in the moment of what's happening.
We're waiting, and I think we do a couple of the like methods, like the ball stuff.
Oh yeah, I did get on the ball, and I was just bouncing, but I literally was feeling fine. Like I didn't feel like I needed to.
Yeah, everything was like
bounce on the
smooth. It was like calm. Like
Yeah.
wasn't like intense pain or anything like that.
Mhm.
We were trying to make her pregnancy, or the pregnancy, right? Yeah, like go
The labor.
proceed, because she was just like not having any pain.
I wasn't in as much pain as I should have been, basically.
So
And
that's-
a whole bunch of hours were going by. So it got to what, like, oh gosh, I don't even remember the time.
It was like 9.
Yeah, 9 or 9:30. So between 9 and 9:30, they checked me again.
And then they were like, you're actually 4 centimeters dilated.
Mm-hmm.
So that whole time we were thinking, when we first went in, she was 4 already. When she
I was
probably less.
like 1 or 2.
Yeah. And then when we walked around, she probably still wasn't even 4. And this lady said that she was 6. It was like 9 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, okay, you're barely 4 centimeters.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like,
Hello. So I just got checked again. It's, what is it, like 9?
No, 10.
it's exactly almost 10.
Almost 10. They checked me, and turns out I'm only 4 centimeters. That was pretty discouraging, because I felt like I was making this progress, and I was expecting, when she checked me that time, I was expecting to be like 8 or
Right.
something.
Like almost there.
But I was 4.
And that's,
so,
I think that's what made sense why she wasn't feeling that much pain.
Mhm.
Because she was barely 4.
and my water hadn't broken.
Yeah.
So when they checked me that time, they...
It broke the water. That's when all hell broke loose.
No. No, I mean, it did. Like, immediately after they broke my water, I was having the most intense contractions ever. They broke my water. So things are automatically worse. I can feel the contractions.
Oh, yeah, so it's game time now,
A lot
baby.
worse.
It's game time.
So, yep, I'm having a contraction.
Breathe, Eris. Breathe through it.
How would you say, like...
It was pretty bad. Like, she, at that point, she, like, couldn't really react to what we were saying. Like, we would be like, Eris, Eris, and she was like...
I mean, when I'm in pain, I can't talk to people, and the nurses were
They'd be like, Eris, can you move? And she was
I'm
just
like, no, I can't move. I'm in.
But she didn't say
literally
that. She
I'm
just
in
stood like
some-
this.
But you could have assumed.
We knew you were in pain, but it was just like, okay, is she gonna move? And the nurse was just like,
She was
Is she
trying to
okay?
make me move hardcore. She was like, all right, I want you to get on the ball because it's going to help you. And I was like, she's like, I want you to get on the ball. You're not having a contraction because she can see on the monitor. So she's like, you're not having a contraction. Get up. Let's go. Let's go. And I was like,
literally like that. Like, she was like, just stay still. We were just like, what is wrong with her?
I literally was like, I cannot move at all. Like, it was the worst pain. It literally was the worst pain I've ever felt. Like my bones, it felt like my bones were just like rubbing together.
After they broke her water, that's when the pain became very intense. We were trying different positions for her to take the contractions and kind of like make it easier for her, but she was like a stick, like she was just paralyzed. She wouldn't move. So like the furthest thing to a different position that we got her in was like on the ball, but she was like leaning on the ball. Like she was sitting on the bed leaning on the ball. So the nurse was like, yeah, you can't do this because you could fall.
And I was like, I'm not gonna fall.
And so like immediately right after like that, she was like, I need the epidural. And then boom, then came the epidural.
So I did the contractions naturally for
1 minute.
for 2 hours. And then they came in at around 11:30, 12 to get me the epidural. And the epidural, man, it hurt. There was just like a lot of pressure, and he wasn't necessarily telling me what he was doing as he was doing it. So I wasn't prepared for like certain like super like aggressive like movements that he needed to do for the epidural. And so I jumped like this, like twice I did that. And I was like, oh snap, am I gonna be paralyzed?
If Zayden stretches, he farts.
Yeah.
Like,
So he's almost waking up, so let me hurry up. So I had the epidural at 12, and then I was a 4 when they gave me the epidural, and then 2 hours went by, and then I felt like I had to poop, literally. I waited to say anything because I didn't know if this was it. So I waited like 5 minutes, and then I was like, I hope I'm just not pooping on the bed, so let me just tell somebody. So I told my mom. She told the nurse checked me and was like, oh snap, you're a 10. I'm a 10. It just went so fast, and I didn't even get to sleep when I had the epidural.
After that, after they broke her water and she got the epidural shortly after that, it went by pretty fast. Like,
Yeah. Did you even sleep when I had the epidural?
no, I didn't sleep the whole time until like he was born. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was in labor for 24 hours. So it was a long time. So once they said it was time to start pushing, I had the epidural, so I couldn't necessarily feel my legs. So the only way I knew that I was pushing hard was like just to make me feel like my face was exploding, basically. Like, yeah, like pushing so hard that you feel like all the blood's rushing to your head and you just feel like it's gonna explode, literally. That's the only way. That's the only way I knew that I was pushing hard. So I pushed about for an hour and a half, and he was getting stuck under my pelvic bone, so his head would pop out and then it would go back. And then it would pop out and go back. And we did that for a long time, and so they were like, okay, so we're gonna have to use the forceps. That was not cool.
That was scary.
It was scary.
I don't know if you know what the forceps look like, but they're about perfect measurements. They're about this long. They're like this long.
They're not like this big, babe. You can just look it up. So
They're like no, they are like this big though. Like that, from the handles to the actual ending point where the curve ends, they're like these arm-looking things, and they're made out of metal. So they basically stick those in the woman. So they basically just stick those up in there. So they basically stick them in there, grab his head like from right here, pull him out. But when I'm telling you, the lady who delivered Zayden was pushing or pulling so hard. Like she was a white lady, a Caucasian lady.
What does that have to do with anything?
She was getting red. Like that's how hard she was like
Oh, she was getting
pulling. Like And she was a short lady, so she was
Yeah,
like,
she was very tiny.
I was like, oh, you're gonna rip his head. You're gonna rip his head. You're gonna rip his head open. He came out.
He came out like
With the head.
so fast.
He
like,
did. He popped out. Like,
Cause she was like, and then she like finally, I felt one big like huge immense amount of pressure, and then I just felt like a release, and it was like he literally popped out. Like it wasn't head and then the shoulders and the body. It was the whole thing. Like he just came out, and yeah, like that. They laid him on me.
Sorry.
They laid him on. He had the like cutest teapot cry. Like that's what that's what we all called him. You guys will hear it.
all right, we better get 1 million streams on this joint.
Stop. They're not done. I lost like 2 pints or like 1.5 pints of blood. So I was shaking and I was not really coherent during like the whole time he was on me. My eyes were like rolling to the back of my head. It was pretty scary because I was losing a lot of blood.
Yeah, it was scary. We were also worried because like Zayden was here, but they were still like taking some time like stitching her up, and like she wasn't feeling good because she had lost a lot of blood.
That was the main thing that they were trying to get back. So I had an IV right here, IV right here. Oh, those were the most painful things. Like those were so annoying. Like I couldn't even feed him because I couldn't really bend my arms too much, and I was so weak on top of that. I literally heard that
So I had to feed him.
the woman comes like, that's like the closest she comes to death is when she gives birth to a baby. Isn't that crazy?
That is wild.
If they didn't use the forceps, they said that they were gonna
Do a C-section.
do a C-section, and we did not want that. So thank the Lord that they were able to
Thank
get
the
him out.
Lord. Thank the Lord.
We were in the hospital for what, like 3 days? We went home on the 3rd day, and the rest is history. You know, he's here, and we love him. 2 months postpartum, looking good. Yeah, that's literally basically my labor and delivery story.
It was pretty intense.
Yeah, he lights up our life. Like, he's the most precious thing. Let me go get him really quick. This is Mr. Zayden Andres. He's just waking up, so. But he has a head full of hair. That's the first thing I saw when he came out. I was like, well, yeah, that's it.
Thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, thank you for watching. Thanks for watching, everybody. I love you guys. Even through all my darkest days, you're still there, take the pain away. And you see my worst, but you stay the same. And you know my